let's see if this... Oi. Let's see if this is working now. Yes, SpaceX. Okay, so is this working?
Okay, so
hey, finally got something right. Oh, everybody knows your name. Okay, nicely done. Let's chuck that down here so that's at a good angle so we can read chat. Nice start to the day, Femo. Alright, let's send the bigger one out first. Why would you do that, Jim? Why would you put that around your line? Be rusty. Oh, what a great start to the day. Okay, so we have got fish here. Nice. We're going to start off with a heavier leader today, people. And then once we start off with a heavier leader, we're going to go to a lighter one if we don't get any fish. Early season, you always have a lot of big early season spawning fish that come in. And if you're lucky enough to hook one, it doesn't necessarily mean you're lucky enough to land one, you know. Just going to let that sit on the bottom. So I'm just going to make some noise with the bibless minnow, and then what I'll do is I'll send the soft plastic out. And what we're going to do this year compared to last year, we're going to start with a chartreuse tail and then just see if it works from there. A beautiful start to the day. Thanks to the 6 people that are in here. Nicely done. All right, let's go. Beauty. Ha ha, there we are, right in front of us. So is that either a tailor just feeding on the surface on smaller bait fish, or is that being pushed up by larger fish? Let's find out, eh? Now, where were the snags last year? But it changes every year with the water flow. All right. Try over there. Oh. Okay. It is still a bit early, but that's okay. If they're out there, you'll get them, you know. We're going to be in Perth next month, fam, fishing the early season spawning run for mulloway, right? So when that happens, we'll be out in the sponsor kayak on the Swan River, and we will be going down to all the old haunts and seeing if there's still any fish around, which seems to be a contentious sort of issue, you know. All right. Now what I'm going to do is this. Great, I'm just going to leave that to sit for a minute. I want that to sink and sit on the bottom. All right. Firstly, welcome to everyone. How come that's not working? What? Oh dear. Excuse me for a second. Excellent, people. We've got fish here. Brilliant. Brilliant. I don't know whether you saw that just over on the right here. Need to figure it out now. Hey Capone, how are you, bud? Sheba, how are you? Yeah, matey, I've been doing so much work, bud. Yeah. If you knew how much work I've done to get to this stage, you would be shocked. Yeah, just log in, thanks. It should log in automatically. We've just had a really good hit on the surface over here to the right. Now the tide is starting to go out a bit, which is not meant to be happening. It's meant to be coming back in, but I'm guessing that's going to change. So, mate, come on, bud. Oh, Australia, just another rubbish software app. There we go. Hey, thanks, Sheba. And I appreciate the fact that you give up your time to watch the stream, mate, because that's the most important thing. It's what we've got, people. Most important thing is not money and wealth, it's time. Okay? In that respect, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching. We've had a really good, strong winter like the old days. The watercolour this year is totally different to last year, right? Last year when we had no rain, there was a lot more salt in the river, so the water was a lot clearer. Whereas now it's got that sort of tea colour to it, which means there's a mixture of fresh and salt. Hey technician, how are you? Walleye Akasita, how are you, stranger? Where you been, mate? How you going, pal? Hey, people, we just had a follow. We just had a big follow. This is going to be a good year. All right, I'm just going to let the lure drop again. What normally happens, right? I don't know whether you saw it on the surface there, okay? But there was a fish that came up to the Rattling Wrap just as it was under the surface. So I'm just going to let it drop. A lot of people going, oh, and do the, you know, social media thing and rip it in. Don't do that. Let your lure drop, because if it's there, it'll hopefully, there it is. It's over there now. Oi, oi. Oh, you cheeky bugger. Okay, well, we could be in today, fam. In like Flynn, as they used to say in the old days. Technician, how you going, bud? Oh, that's it, mate. This is what people don't get, technician, you know. All right, Walleye, how you going, bud? Mate, you use those reels I sent or what? Okay, so this is what we're going to do, people. Now, people, I should have a shop up and running by October. It's only 3 months late, but work takes in the way. These are American-made jig heads and American-made soft plastics. What I'm doing is I'm fishing with the tail down today. That's a 3/16 ounce jig head. Because we've got a lot more water in the river, we're going to have a lot more flow. Going to find it harder to get to the bottom. So what'll happen is if you use too light a jig head, it goes off at an angle rather than dropping straight down. So if we don't get any joy with this, we'll shift to the lighter one, eh? Okay. Now we're going to have to be quite systematic with our fishing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fish from left to right, because the river's flowing this way at the moment before the change of tide comes in. Right, if I cast down this way, I'm casting downstream, and then if I try and retrieve my soft plastic upstream, it's going to come up too shallow. So like this, right, beautiful, boom. So what it'll do, it'll actually drop, okay? Technician, what I've done, mate, is I've invested in a lot of software and equipment to improve the stream. So we now have AI tracking. I would have brought that out, but the forecast is rain today, right? And then with that, I've also got a lot of other stuff that I'm using. So well spotted, matey, and I hope you can appreciate the clarity of the stream as well. So you've got to provide good content for the community, mate. That's what it's about, you know. And next week's going to be wet and windy. Okay, rightio, there are fish around. This is good. I thought the river was dead last year. Lucky the winter saved us. So after next week, we'll be out in the kayak. We're going to be doing open ocean kayak fishing streams, people. Right. Hey, Big Daddy of 6, how are you, bud? Mate, how's your recovery going? Thank you very much for your support with the resub. Thanks very much for your support watching. But how's the recovery going, old boy? You good? The wife hasn't bloody belted you yet? See, technician, with your live streaming, bud, there are lots and lots of different things you can do to change the perception of what's being watched, okay? So I've done a few things today, and I went and did a heap of research on ratios, right? And talk about a whole new sort of science that I didn't even know existed, you know what I mean? So, oh, glad to hear it, bud. All right, we've just had another fish up on the surface. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the chartreuse jig head today. I've started off with a 30-pound leader, a 3/16 ounce jig head, and a 3-inch tail, just in case there's a big croaker out there. Because hooking them one thing, landing them, it's a lot of people. Oh, there are little ones around that are obviously not. Oh, why is that moving? Come on. I've had a couple of little bumps. Right, but it's still a bit early, and I don't think we'll get anything as the tide's outgoing once it stops and comes back in. So I was going to go and fish another spot this morning, but there's too many people that go past, and if you hook a fish and land it, you know, the next day you'll have 30 people there with nets trying to rip it out. Oi! How the hell did that get there? Well, we lost the tail, that's for sure. Always happens live on stream. They must have moved while I was casting. Right, let's chuck that down again. Over there. Oh, Jesus, lucky I didn't break the rod. Alright, let's get another chartreuse tail out. Still busy, Big Daddy. Still busy, mate, but the end is not far off. Alright, famo. So look, what I'm going to do is early season, for some reason, red seems to work well, people. I don't know whether that's because of the fact that early season, when the water levels rise, it flushes a lot of worms out. Okay, and the fish seem to get accustomed to eating that. But what I'm going to do is, I've got one of the traditional motor oil colours here. I didn't realise this, but apparently there were 3 different types of... There it is. All right. Motor oil colours out there in the early days, fam. And the one that I've got here from the people that I deal with in the States is one of the original colours. How the hell did that peel off? Okay, so this is one of the original motor oil colours, right? I think Z-Man calls this their bloodworm colour. But yeah. So what that is, if you're going to fish rivers, always try and fish with a soft plastic that's got a bit of Lumo in it, all right? At the depths, just a light glow makes a bit of a difference on your catch rate. Right. Oh, mate, it still hasn't healed, bud. It still hasn't healed. I've got a little bit of a scab that keeps forming, mate, but yeah. All right, beautiful cast. Right where we want to be. This is the same colour that a couple of years ago when we were fishing early season, we got absolutely smashed further down. I was fighting that fish for about 15 minutes, but unfortunately the audio on Twitch packed itself and I sounded like a jockey that had been taking too much helium, you know? Okay, what is going on? Why am I getting so many tentative hits? Come on, bud, that's the way. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yep. Now, I don't know whether that's debris or what, but it's like something swimming along the line and the lure. So, yeah, it's, what is it now? We're in September, nearly October, bud. I might have to change to a lighter leader, I think. I think that's probably why they're not biting. Oh, thanks to the 27 viewers that have tuned in, fam. It's been that long since we've live streamed properly. I thought everyone had forgotten. The other thing is too, I've deleted the Discord. I'll probably open it up again a bit later. But yeah, I'm just going to start a fresh one. Just a nice, simple Discord. So... yeah, and even where the spider bite was, Big Daddy, the foot's a different colour, bud. So, yes, it's starting to brighten up now. We've got a nice overcast day, so all good. Everybody knows your name. There's not much point me casting to the right, as that's downstream, so all that's going to happen there is, like I said, the lure will fish too shallow. I'm just, hey, here's another little one in front of us, fam. So I'm just waiting for the rivers to get down a bit in water levels in the country. There's still a heap of water down there, which is good. A lot of the creeks are fishing really well, if you know where to fish. But I might even be shooting down south on Sunday, famo. I don't know yet, so we'll see how we go. Oh, congratulations, Big Daddy. That's good to hear, mate. Just call yourself Daddy of 6 and don't worry about calling yourself big or small, mate. That's not relevant, bud. Okay, just call yourself Daddy of 6. Okay, big, small, short, tall, square, oblong, round, doesn't matter. Yeah, that's a nice picture, isn't it, fam? That's a good setting. Now, there still might be a bit of fresh in here, but we'll be right. Now, people, I don't know whether you can see in the bottom third of your screen, we've got all these little fish coming to the surface. Now, I don't know whether that's little greenback tailor or bluefish, as you call them in America, that are coming in, or there's fish starting to herd them into the shore. So what we've got out here is we've got a little bit of a drop off, right? So the fish can sit facing the drop off, and then as the fish go out over it, they end up being fair game. And for some reason there always seems to be a fairly good congregation of bait fish in the area, which obviously attracts the bigger fish, you know. So that's why we fish this spot. Right, that's landed right on its head. Oh, really? Make sure you bring them back, mate. They can get flippin' annoying on holidays. Is that rain? I can feel a bit of a cool change coming in, fam, so... Digital Octanex, how are you, bud? The time is 7 a.m, 7:01 a.m. How are you, bud? Thanks for coming in, mate. You followed the other day. Which streamer did we raid or pop into? I can't remember now. But thank you very much for popping in after following, mate. How are you today, buddy? You good? Bilbo Baggins, how's things in the Lord of the Rings, bud? Or was that Bilbo? I don't know. I don't watch telly. Oh, everybody knows your name. Mino, that's right. She's one of the most popular fishing streamers on the platform, Digital Octanex. Right. I don't know why a lot of the streamers that are out here... Excuse me, it's raining. I've just got to protect all the gear. I don't know why a lot of the streamers out here, when they try and bang on about popular fishing streamers, they don't mention, like, Mino. Knew I should have brought the trolley, but anyway. Right, that'll be okay. A salmon festival, okay, mate. Yeah. We don't have any Atlantic salmon here. I can't believe this. They never forecast this rain, so I'm just going to have to be careful with the receiver, famo, because if it gets wet, it's curtains. Got a lot of fish in here early today. Just got to figure out what colour of bait fish they're eating. Just excuse me for a second. Oh, well, look, mate, it's, you know, there's a lot of criticism about content on the platform, okay? And I mean, you know, she does a good job, and it's really interesting content, you know, and there's always that stigma associated with it, you know what I mean? Thanks, Digital Octanex. This is what we do, mate. We try and immerse our community into the environment as well. So just excuse me for a second, people. Like I said, I've got a bit of rain here totally unexpected. If I had known that, I would have brought down the waterproof like trolley. Hopefully it's just a bit of passing winter rain, you know what I mean? Yeah, and that's what we do, mate, you know, like with the way I look at it, streaming Digital Octanex, and remember my thoughts and my views are my own, right? I think I'm the least important person in the stream. This is the most important thing. So people think that they can, like, you know, be part of what we're doing. So, I mean, we really don't realise how lucky we are in Australia, bud. We have no idea how lucky we are in Australia, mate. To be able to walk down here for free and not pay anything to fish here, you know, unbelievable. Hey Cronus, how are you, bud? Welcome to the stream, mate. Got a bit of rain coming in, mate. Had to take the hat off, so the old chrome dome's starting to cool down rapidly. That's coming in from the east. Weird. Hopefully it's just a bit of light stuff. Look, people, normally I'm reasonably good at being able to predict when we're going to hook a fish. As soon as the tide changes, with this drop in barometric pressure, this is an ideal environment to fish for mulloway, right? They love it. I don't know what it is. A lot of people say that, you know, when the barometer drops, it allows their sort of stomach or, you know, that to expand. I don't know. I don't care. I just know that in these sorts of conditions, we catch a lot of fish. In the old days when we had fish, not like nowadays, you know. But the tide's still going out. In this river, it needs to come in, so. Plenty of little bait fish around, which is good. They're just little tailor feeding on the surface. But there was a huge smash here before when the river was coming in this way. And as nature works, as soon as I saw the fish getting destroyed on the surface over there, it started to go out. And I went, well, there you go. Missed that opportunity, you know what I mean? So, Gary, how are you, bud? Sober. That's the state that I'm fishing in, Gary. Sober. No, Western Australia, bud. Hey! Just saw our first mulloway of the season, fam. Behind our soft plastic. Just a little soapy. So, in the old days, they called mulloway from that big to that big soapies because when people would eat them at that size in the old days before fishing regulations and that came in, they had a soap-like taste to them, right? We don't keep soapies. Beauty. Yeah, Digital Octanex, thank you very much for coming in, mate. Good to see you. Okay, so they're starting to hit further out in the river. So either something's come in here and it's moved them out, or that's where the smaller bait fish are. Yeah, we're a community-focused channel too, Digital Octanex. So a lot of people have sent me messages saying that in other channels, unless they're subs, they don't get like spoken to, which I think's disgusting. Right, so we talk to everyone, mate. So if you type in chat, you'll get acknowledged as long as it's relevant to the stream, you know. All right. Secret Swan River spot, Gary. There are no secret Swan River spots anymore, bud. If you know where to find the fish, right, someone knows about it, bud. You know what I mean? So, apparently on YouTube, Facebook and that, they've got these people that are like sending up drones, checking out spots and that sort of stuff and seeing where people fishing, mate. So if you've got a secret Swan River spot, Gary, keep it to yourself, bud. Only fish it when the conditions are right at night so no one sees you. And just, you know, although you won't catch any brim that way, will you, you know? So. All right, Gary, let's see if we can figure out roughly where your spot is, bud. So, I know you're referring to here, but yeah. WA's what you're going to get out of me, bud. So, but we aren't fishing in Perth, Gary. We aren't fishing in Perth, so. This is so good for me, people, being able to go for a fish again. I've been so busy with work, fam. I've been so busy with work. If I told you, I haven't been home before 9 o'clock at night for nearly 3 months, right? Oh, oh no, I dropped that one, famo. Oh, that was a good hit. Oh, that was a good hit. And then it dropped it. Oh, I've got a snag now. Ah, bugger. Oh dear. Yeah, do it, Gary, because people are just, you know, it's like these, yeah, it's like these people that fish and put everything on Facebook, mate. Pat, how are you, bud? Pat, how do you know that there's only boys in the chat, mate? We do have female members of the community as well, bud. So how about saying, hey, everyone, you know? Right. When you say Shoaley, do you mean Shoalhaven? What on earth hit that? Come on, bud. I think I'm going to have to drop down to a lighter jig head, fam, and a different coloured soft plastic, because where I normally fish with this is a lot deeper because the tide's going out, it's too shallow. Yeah, good, Cronus. Yourself, what are you up to, bud? Excuse me, bit of early morning rain, know what I mean? Hey, Gary, what depths do you fish on the Swan, bud? Shoalhaven, nice one, Patter. Oh, Big Daddy, we're going to leave that right alone, okay? What he didn't tell everyone is 4 of them have 4 legs and a tail. No, I'm kidding, girls, don't get shitty. That's just a bit of banter. It's not designed to offend you. It's designed to stir you up, so get a response and look at each other and go, he's a smart ass. And I've got to remember Big Daddy's recovering, so I can't make him laugh too much. So, Shoalhaven River's on the east coast, isn't it, Pat? I should have brought the waterproof cover down, but I didn't think it was going to rain. They didn't forecast it. Someone took the Milo tin off the back of the car. All right, that's not a snag. That's a twig, I think, is it? All right, well, that's good. We've had a lot of debris that's come down. So what I'm going to do is, this is the first time I've fished this spot this year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear out a lot of the dead, like trees and branches and that have been brought down with the early winter flow, right? And then what we'll do is we'll clean it up off the bottom, then we'll be able to fish our lures properly. There we go. Now, 5 to 10. Okay, do you have a rocky backdrop, Gary, or is it sand? Or are you fishing around structure, man-made structure? Nice run, Patter. Let me guess, you're going to go for a fish this morning, then head off to the dogs later this afternoon, or what? Go and lose the week's wages on the greyhounds? Nah. Come on. You fish the banks. Okay. I was on Google Earth the other night looking at a lot of the old spots that I used to fish in the Swan, Gary, and I'm like, well, that never used to have houses there. And the only problem is, you know, if you go there and try and fish it, they'll get rid of you, if you know what I'm saying. So, all right, so that's a snag. That's not a fish. All right, that's where the old snag was, so it's still there. Come on, bud. That's all right. Now, it's one of the advantages of using good quality gear. So see that? Normally when you buy the cheap stuff that's mass produced out of Asia, it'll snap or it'll, you know, like fail. This is actually American made monofilament. That's an American made lure. So even though that now probably won't fish the same because I've bent it out, I'll take that home with a pair of pliers and a bit of tubing and get the right shape again. We got the soft plastic back and we haven't lost anything yet, so that's good. Giant bass, you're hitting the South California surfing in now. Nice one, man. How you going, bud? Half your luck. Our beaches are still closed off. Thanks to everyone that's come in. I thought everyone forgot about us. I nearly forgot about myself. I haven't been fishing in so long. No, I'm going to have to take that home. All right, look, what I'm going to do is let me just change the strength of the leader. Did I bring the leader? No, of course I didn't. Well, I can't change the strength of the leader because I didn't flip and bring any. Yeah. Often the best laid plans of mice and men don't come into fruition, said no one ever. Oh. When you say, hey, giant bass, when you say South California surf, what's the area down there, bud? Is that the, is it called the Baja Coast or whatever? Is that it or not? Right, let's chuck that there. I'm going to change it up. All right, people. So look, we were using a 3/16 ounce jig head. Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to go to 1/16 ounce. I think it's about 2.8 grams or something, okay? And what we're going to do is we're just going to use an unpainted jig head here. Right, we're just going to use that, righty. And then that way what we're going to do is probably going to swap to a Z-Man soft plastic. So, did I bring them? Hey, thanks, Big Daddy. You know, I appreciate that, mate, because, you know, in this cutthroat game of live streaming, bud, it's quite funny, isn't it, mate, you know? There's a really big downward trend on this platform at the moment, Big Daddy. I don't think they're sort of concentrating on content anymore, you know? So, where everybody knows your name. Yeah, like I said, mate, we just we like to live stream for the enjoyment side of it, Big Daddy, you know. Is that going to be long enough? It's going to have to be. I just use a really simple Lefties loop, fam. If you go to our YouTube channel and follow on YouTube, it's got it in there. If someone types !YT in chat, it'll bring up our link to Australis Fishing on YouTube and also Australis TV on YouTube. Right. Is that going to be long enough? Probably not. Ooh. Ooh, hang on. That's a fin. That's a bull shark, fam. That's a little bull shark that's come in on the surface. That's why we're definitely not going to catch anything for a while. Yeah, that was a fin. They don't normally... Right. Now, did you hear the difference in that take off the surface, fam? That wasn't a tailor, that was a mulloway. Now, I saw a fin there that I thought belonged to a bull shark, right? I'm glad I'm using 30-pound leader, because if that wasn't a bull shark, that was a hell of a croaker. And I mean a hell of a croaker. So what we're going to do now is... Yeah, sorry, Digital Octonex. I don't think Stream Elements is... I think... Oh, really? What do you mean by real... What do you mean by that, Big Daddy? Why is it... Huh? What are they doing, bud? Hang on, what I'll do is I'll try and link it here. Now, people, let me just give you a little bit of a tip for soft plastic fish. Sorry, Digital Octonex, but the mods have kittens with me, mate, because I'm so good with technology, said no one ever. Right. Now, people, when you fish with a loop knot, give you a little tip. Always try and use a loop knot that is not bigger than the jig head that you're using, and also not bigger than the distance between the eye of your hook and the point of your hook, okay? Because what will happen is when you cast, sometimes it'll get tangled in there, okay? So that's actually quite a good size. That's probably about, I would say, 1/4 of an inch there. All right, now what we're going to do is just put a little tail on there and see how we go. What I'm going to do is, oh, excuse me. Yeah, thanks, mate. That's what we try and do, Big Daddy, you know. But I mean, when we live stream, mate, we don't live stream, you know, we live stream to live stream, and we go fishing to catch fish, mate. You know where I'm going with this, because we've spoken about this before, you know, bud. Right, so just excuse me for a second. I'm going to go and do my usual thing and go, hang on. Let's go. So, right, the river's starting to slow down, famo. Right, that's what we need to do. Let's just let it slow down. Here we go. Right, I'm just going to hook up the Stream Elements now, bud. It's still not flowing the right direction, so we'll give it a few minutes. Just give me a second. Thank you very much to the 51 viewers that have come in here, fam, okay? Why do these software places bombard people with these false narratives on, you know, like sponsored streams? They're not sponsored streams, but if they were sponsored streams, you'd be paying people to do what you're doing. You're just trying to tap into their community. Just sick of it. Oh, that was a big... Excuse me for a second. Right, now it should work. No, of course not. Oh yeah, it's a great escape. Oh, okay, now people, when you fish in rivers in Australia, colour for brim. It's the opening night. Okay, so it's got your silver and I don't know what you would call that, whether you call that like a speckle in the clear part with that on top. I wish they brought one of these out in gold, and I wish they brought one out that was like gold on the bottom and black on top, because it would catch everything in WA. Right. So here, what you do now, when you rig soft plastics, it's a game of millimetres, right? So normally when they do it in the mould, they'll have a line down the middle that you can see clearly on that soft plastic, right? So what you've got to do is to bring your hook out under and then through the bottom, you usually got the other bit of the mould too, okay? So what you do is you've got to bring it in right on that line, okay? Because if you don't, what'll happen is you'll have a lean on the soft plastic when you're retrieving it, okay? And it may not sort of work as well as it should. So let's chuck that in there. There we go. So I've brought that out right on. Now see how I've got that little sort of bend in the middle? That's a little bit too long, right? So what it is, I'm going to shift this down literally a millimetre, right, and show you the difference, because it is a game of millimetres when you rig soft plastics, people, right? Always take extra time and precaution when you're doing that. Okay, so see how we don't have it now, and the tail's going to wiggle. Now we can use it. All right, excuse me for a second. Okay. Oh. It's what we have here in Western Australia, Digital Octonex, is all the trees on here have a oil in them that's called tannin. When the leaves fall in the water, the tannin releases it and it gives it like a tea colour, right? So where we fish here in Western Australia and most Australian rivers, you've got a continuous like mix of salt and fresh water. So salt, brackish water, which is more salt than fresh, can push up to, 7, 8, 9, 10 miles upstream in the height of summer. But early on, there's always a mix, So if this water cleared up, you'd know that it was predominantly salty. So what's happened is we've got a low tide pushing out to the ocean. It's bringing the fresh water down, which has got the tannin stain, right? When the tide changes, which is what it's meant to do, in now, right? And it comes back this way, you'll see the salt water come in and it'll start to fill it up with clearer water, okay? Kiwi Aaron, how are you, brother? What's going on? Yeah, and that's the thing, mate. I've been fishing, I was born in 1970, Digital Octonex, right? So I've been fishing for, well, easily 50 years now, or over 50 years now. So, over time, You don't go to university to fish, mate. You don't go to university to learn fishing. I think you... Oh, no, that's not correct, because in America they've got a fly fishing course at a university. Well done. Right, so, yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things. You just build up knowledge over time, right? And one thing I've done over the years is I've kept a lot of records. I've kept a lot of records on, you know, conditions. So the first, from about sort of 15 to 21, I kept records on freshwater. And, you know, you pick things up over time and you see trends. I mean, the best time to go fishing is when you can go fishing digital Octonex, you know. And I've worked in the tackle trade and all the rest of the stuff, and I've done a bit of like media on television and everything, right? With places with reference to fishing. So, you know, you just sort of delve into it a bit deeper, mate, you know. So when I go fishing, I usually go when the conditions are right. Like Gary said, you know, he only goes fishing at night. Smart move, mate. Everyone in Perth wants to know your business. And what we try and do to Digital Octonex is, I was a fishing guide for a long time in the south of the state, so I can circumnavigate from Albany to Perth through the back streets, no dramas, right? And being born in timber country, I spent a lot of my formative years like freshwater fishing and, you know, estuary fishing, beach fishing and all the rest of it. So whereas everyone would go out and get drunk on a Friday night, I mean, I used to do that too, but not as much. I'd go fishing. I'd jump in my two-door Volkswagen and drive down to different spots in the southwest, sleep on the rocks and fish, you know. So, Landon, how are you, stranger? What's going on? What's an informative piece of history that you can share with us today? Landon, straight off the top of your head. Don't go to Google. What's an informative bit of history you can share with us, seeing as you're such a buff? Yeah, great, mate. Just been busy with work, you know, the stuff that pays the mortgage, Landon. I don't sit here if I cast 1,000 times and not catch a fish, because on that 1,000th and first cast, it could be the fish of a lifetime. Jacko! Jacko! Australia's best kept secret. How are you, Jacko? How's those 1-star biscuits going, Jacko? You still eating 5 of them to make it 5-star, son, or what? That's the way, bud. Good man. All paid for. You cheeky bugger, sending me photos going, oh, now. That had a tail when it hit the soft plastic. Now what I've done is I've stopped the fishing rod in the exact position that it was when the fish let go. And what I'm hoping's happened is the soft plastics just dropped straight down. Now I've got no tension on that soft plastic because I've got a bend in my braid there, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slowly wind this in, right? Point my rod tip down. I'm not going to get the line straight. The moment the line straightens between the rod tip and the lure, it's going to put an unnatural motion on the soft plastic. And if there's anything sitting there like that waiting for it to move to hit it, right, it won't. This is how you can catch a lot of redfin perch in the south of the state. I'll show you in a couple of weeks when we go down and the season breaks proper, right? So if there is one there, what happens is with your soft plastics, people, they usually drop vertically and then the tail will just swing in the current, right? So I'm hoping that it's still there. Come on, bud. Oh, there you go, people. Now, see that? That was a fish. Or fish, as some people call it. Okay, that was a good hit. Now, I'm 1 millimetre off there. That's going to affect the angle. There we go. See that? No, that's about right. It's working, that's for sure. That was a fish. So what they do is they normally hit it side on. So what we're going to do, we're going to give it 30 seconds to a minute to reset the brain. Then we're going to cast again, okay? You share your birthday with Vincent van Gogh's death day. There you go. Very good, Landon. Every time you come into the stream, right, please share with us a little bit of history, mate, okay? Because history is important, bud. You can't change history, mate, okay? You can't change history, mate. And it's very important because a lot of people don't learn by the mistakes made in history. You know what I mean? So... Princess Diana married Charles. Good old big ears. Where would we be without big ears? Yes, mother, get the ferrets. You know, like... Okay, let's see if we can get another hook set. With Hugh Hefner. Good old Hugh. Where would we be without Hugh? I mean, you know, good old Hef, as they call him in the game, you know what I mean? Lucky he's not a rapper, his name would be Hugh Diddy, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's leave that one right alone. Pugsleys, how are you, bud? No, mate, no you don't, bud. No you don't. Where everybody knows your name. See, people, when you know how to banter, you can create, like, you know, an atmosphere in your chat and, you know, get people laughing, because that's what it's about, mate, you know. Now, for those of you that are new to the stream, welcome. This is Australis Fishing. We are a community-focused channel, okay? Because without community, there is no channel. And I do my fishing in Australia, well, Western Australia, although I have fished a couple of places over east, but not for recently times, you know. So, yes, we do live fishing streams. We also have Australis TV, where we do our gardening and our variety content, okay? Right, this river's slowing down, fam. This is good. Boom, lovely. Yeah, that's right, technician. It is a zero drama stream, bud, you know. Small-minded people talk about people, fam. That's proven time and time again, you know what I mean? So, you know, forward thinkers talk about ideas. All right, we're going to swap this tail out, famo, to a different colour. What we might do, should we go to another... I left my Z-Man motor oils at home, so we might go back to the old 3-inch chartreuse, I think. Mind you, we did have a hit on the opening night, which was good. Now, because we've got less flow in here, I can cast a bit further out to the middle. Oh, wow, 57 viewers. Thank you, everyone. I thought everyone forgot about us. It's been that long, you know. What's feeding in there? Is that a cormorant or a dolphin or what? You can always tell when the high tide's coming in too, fam, because the dolphins usually come in as well with it, you know. Supra Hero, the old Toyota Supra, the nightclub car of the 90s, bud. How are you, man? Had one really good hit, so. Okay. Oh, it was a duck. Those mountain ducks are funny. We're supposedly having a change of tide at 7:30, fam, right? So once that happens, there'll be more surface activity from the bait fish. That wasn't a bait fish, that was a mulloway, right there, right now. This is where it's always a headache. Look, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix it up a bit, right? I'm going to put the soft plastic away and get out the bibless minnow and just make a bit of noise, so let them know that we're here. Right. Oh. Where everybody knows your name. Really? Right. One thing I find too is that if you use lures that make a bit of noise, like bib minnows and all that sort of stuff, right, they usually let fish know that you're in an area, okay? So, thank you very much to the 56 people that are in here watching. Going to take the hat off the phone now, which means it's probably going to rain. But anyway, so there we go. So where are you stretching, Superhero? Down at the beach or something, or on the rocks, if you snagged an octopus? Okay. Right. Nice one, bud. I've had one good hit, Superhero. And I'm not using bait, so that always adds a certain level of difficulty to it. How can one weather platform have the tide so wrong so consistently? Oh, that's a good drag. I'm going to let that sink on the bottom. Early season, the Mulloway are fairly like pumped up too, you know. Western Australia superhero and sober. Right in front of us, just there. Rightio. Where you can play that game. Don't know, superhero. I think it is 7:45 here, yeah, roughly about that. Right. Rightio. The sun's out, so things are going to brighten up a bit now, which is good. Okay, let's see if there's a snag that's in this direction. Beauty. Beautiful. It's nice when the river comes to life with a bit of sunlight, isn't it, fam, you know? That's the way, technician. Alright, we'll give it a couple of more casts with the bibless minnow. I can shoot off to work a bit later. Still Saturday, yeah, Sunday morning here, bud. Forgot to put me lotto in again last night, so, oh well. Got to be in it to win it, don't you? Excuse me. Beauty. Wow, there we go, Jacko. That's a rarity, son, isn't it? You know? Yeah, industry in Australia is one thing that's dropped off, hasn't it, mate, you know? Alright, going to go back to the Chrome Dome in a second, people, because that camera's going to overheat with the sun that's out. Hey, little fishy. We've had one good hit. Lovely. Where everybody knows you know. Right. Go. Still probably not going to help, but anyway, it's better than nothing. Let's swap this out again. Let's try something different. Alright, have we got any... Oh, we haven't. Bugger. Oh, he knows your name. That looks like a little tailor. Let's try that. Morning. Let's see this one. Oh yeah, I work for myself, technician. So, you know, it's one of those things, but you know, you just got to try and work through it, mate. It's no different to streaming, but you know, like you just got to try and make the best of what you've got, mate, you know. That's right, Jacko. The old name for the old radio guys was a ham, wasn't it? Yeah, I've got my own business, technician, so that's a good soft plastic. For us, I don't know whether the fish like it though. Nicely done. Oh. Hey Jacko, what's the abbreviation of ham? What's the abbreviation of ham? I can't remember. What did it stand for? Why is my heart rate up? That's not good. OTC, how are you, bud? Yeah, that's the one, yeah. Oh! Or having any mates. So... Thanks, OTC. Where everybody knows your name. Well, people, when I check the records and that sort of stuff, right, the record stated that there was going to be a high tide at 7:30. It's still going out. So I have no idea what the story is with that. Yeah, that's what we're going to start doing again, technician. We're going to start, you know, we're going to start doing a lot more early morning streams. So we'll be back on the kayak, you know, 4 or 5 a.m. if you know what I'm saying. So... no, 8 a.m. Jacko. All right, famo. Well, look, I'm going to go and call it a day. This is our first stream back for a while. Thanks for tuning in. What I'll do is I'll see if there's anyone that I watch that is going to raid. Okay, so we'll leave you from here. And let me just have a look. Who else is live? Nope. 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 Oh dear. Alright people, we're just going to throw out a quick raid. Gimbal Guy, how are you mate? Welcome to the stream. We're going to go and raid a long time supporter of the channel, the Real Pugzilla. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, I really appreciate you giving up your time to come in and watch. Got 50 odd viewers in here, which is fantastic for our first stream back. We're going to go and raid pugs. See you soon.